The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, says he neither owns nor operates any business directly or by proxy outside the country. In a statement on his social media platform X, Kyari clarified that he does not own a blending plant in Malta, contrary to allegations by Aliko Dangote, owner of the Dangote Group of companies. In addition, the NNPCL boss stated that he does not know any of his colleagues that own such a venture. Kyari says sanctions will apply to any NNPCL employee involved in such. He urged individuals with information to this effect to make it available to security agencies. This denial is coming on the heels of a dispute with Dangote Refinery, who claims that personnel of NNPCL, oil traders and terminals have opened a blending plant in Malta from where they import products into Nigeria. The controversy blew open after the CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, accused Dangote Refinery of producing substandard products. Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by engineer Yabaji Sani. He was a former petroleum engineer with the NNPCL. He's also the former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Committee and the national chairman of the Action Democratic Party. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, madam.
So you followed what's been going on for some time now. You're an expert in the oil and gas industry. You started your career at the NNPC depot in Kano as far back as 1980. So you understand, the inside of the industry. Give me a brief perspective or overview instead, an overview of what is going on. What do you feel about the brawl between NNPC and Dangote Refinery?
Well, thank you very much. I think what is happening is a case of two, shall we say, elephants, fighting. And in this case, it's a case of a situation that was deliberately, made up in order to frustrate a genuine effort by a concerned citizen of this country and the person of Aliko Dangote by coming forward to rescue Nigeria from what has become an albatross on the economy of this country. When you look at the implications of subsidies and the fact that Nigeria is about number 6, of the exporting countries, crude oil exporting countries, and the same country has no refineries working for over 25 years now. We have 4 moribund refineries. We have markets that it's not a matter of economic sense or economic viability of the refineries. It's just a case of people that willfully damage these assets for their own selfish interest, because you can't explain how you spend over 12 trillion naira on what you call turnaround maintenance. And today, as we speak, you don't have one of the 4 refineries working for Nigeria.
Okay, so you said there is a deliberate attempt to, frustrate Dangote Refinery. How so? And, what proof do you have for that?
No, the proof is I mean, before Dangote, embarked on this, there were meetings with NNPC. There's no way you will come to establish a refinery in Nigeria without getting license from NNPC. It's not possible. And to the extent that NNPC even said they are taking up 20% of the equity in that, refinery. Right. So which means government is very much aware of this gigantic project that is coming to our client. So how come, at the time that the refinery requires the feedstock, which is the crude oil, you will now play some kind of game to deny the supply of the crude oil.
Okay, but Dangote refinery also, even before or during the construction of that refinery, he did get concessions from government, whether there was a lot of support, whether you talk about Forex, some loans, and here and there. So is it exactly true that the government wants to frustrate him when all along he's been supported heavily by government, not only in the refinery, other ventures too?
There is a political undertone here in the whole thing happening, because remember that this refinery came to being during the immediate past administration. So if you talk of the government support, it came from that government.
So you are saying that the current government is not supporting
for some reasons that
business.
They have not told Nigerians, because nobody understands the kind of language they are speaking. The issue is that you should not allow politics to interfere with the economic future of this country.
So are you directly accusing President Bola Tinubu's administration of trying to scuttle Dangote's businesses, especially the refinery?
It's not even the administration. It's President Ahmed Bola Tinubu himself. I'm indicting, because he's the Minister of Petroleum Resources today. And he needs to step up to the plate, to tell Nigerians what exactly is happening. Why is it that these very important projects, not only to Dangote, because you have to understand what is coming to save us. If you know that we spent over 27 or 25 trillion naira, on subsidies, and we are spending, even this year, that government is saying they're not spending money on subsidy, they are spending almost 5.4 trillion naira, more than even what we spent in 2023, which is about 3.3 trillion naira. So, and you know what impact of this, what devastating impact it has on the state of the economy itself, because where are we having inflation? Why is it that monetary policies are not working? Because the component of your inflation is from the foreign exchange, which you are spending about 70% of it on importation of crude of the petroleum products. Now you have a project that will save you that amount of money, and you are frustrating it. So it doesn't add up. That is why I'm saying that this is squarely, at the doorstep of Mr. President himself, being the president of, being the Minister of Petroleum Resources, and also knowing very well what it means, to save us this whopping amount of money that we are squandering on what you call subsidy.
The government that you accuse has tried to intervene. The Minister of Petroleum Resources State, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lupobiri, called for a meeting between the gladiators, if I may use the word. Is that not enough proof that the government is interested in the success of this refinery? Or at least to sort of diffuse the tension? Maybe
face saving. It's a face saving tactics.
You really think so?
I think so, because Farouk, Ahmed that spoke at the villa, and Mele Kyari was standing by his side when he made a statement that when he demarcated this country that what Dangote is producing is inferior, and that they are not even been licensed. How closer can he be to the government than to speak, on the ground of the villa, and have the GMD himself standing by his side? So it's a face-saving tactics. But I like it. It's okay if they come around to understand that this is about Nigeria. It's not about Dangote. No matter what happened, during the political the build-up to 2023, whatever happened, they should not put the fate of this country and then destroy what everybody is applauding as a very genuine, economic action to save this very, very promising economy called Nigeria.
So you do not think that this meeting at the instance of the minister will make any difference at all?
That meeting shouldn't at the instance of the minister. The meeting should be with the Minister of Petroleum Resources, not a junior minister. You don't have such an important meeting with a junior minister. It should be with the Minister of Petroleum Resources, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. But again, you must understand. You see, we can't put all the blames on Tinubu. Do you know why? we signed what you call prepaid, loan of $3.3 billion, with
Afrexim Bank.
Yes, which means we have already mortgaged, the future of this country as far as crude oil supply is concerned to the loan that we don't even know what they did with 3.3 billion, which they have already drawn down already. So what did they do with that $3.3 billion? That was done in 2023 by the previous administration. So when you look at it, and the administration is aware also that we have, only about 60% of the crude oil that is produced in this country, because you have the JVC, that's the joint venture and agreement you have with who owns about 30% or 40% in some cases like that. So, which means if you are producing 1.7, assuming you are able to reach that 1.7, I don't know when we ever made 1.7. If you are making just 1.2 or something like that, and only 60% of it is what is available to you, and of the 60%, you have already prepaid, you have given, agreement to some people to the tune of $3.3 billion, then who is fooling who? By saying that, there's a project that is coming which will require about 650, 1,000 barrels per day.
Right.
Dangote refinery. So the issue is not only by Tinubu, these problems that we're having today.
Right.
But the point I'm making is that this is the time when the president should step up to the plate.
Okay,
and then solve this problem.
Right. Dangote is not the only player in the industry,
yes.
Right? And you mentioned the NMPCL and the boss of NMDPRA at the grounds of the villa.
Yes.
The regulator still has to do its job, doesn't it?
No, but there's a time, yes. You tell the truth, isn't it? But for a purpose. Do you tell the truth to destroy yourself? No, that's the point we are making. Nobody says they shouldn't do their job. And where was this regulator you're talking about when they imported foul fuel into this country that destroyed most of the Nigerian vehicles? Where were they? Where were they when we spent billions of naira to sanitize, to make that fuel to be consumable by us? Where were they when the European refineries are sending substandard fuel to this country from time immemorial? This is a non-secret everywhere that our country is the destination for what you call dirty fuel. That's what we've been receiving. Where is this regulatory agency you're talking about? Where were they then?
So the House of Representatives has called for the suspension of Farouk Ahmed, who is the boss of the NMDPRA. It's a lot to swallow. Anyway, so they've called for his suspension. Is it taking it too far, or does he deserve to be suspended?
Madam, you've just heard of what happened in the United States, where the president was almost killed, isn't it? And the head of that agency honorably, resigned when she saw that, the cause were that she must resign.
That's not exactly the same thing.
It is. Do you know how many people are dying because of this fuel thing? Can you remember what happened during the foul fuel that was imported in this country?
No,
people were dying, and even now, look at what is happening. Why do you think we have hunger? Why do you think we have people being kidnapped? Why do you think we have unemployment? Do you know how many people are dying as a result of this nonsense that they have subjected us to? Eh?
So you think he should be suspended?
He should have resigned.
And if he doesn't resign?
If he doesn't resign, then the House of Rep is right to demand what they are demanding. So
this dispute has, moved on to people throwing things. Dangote has now accused Mele Kyari. No, not Mele Kyari. He has accused some NMPC officials of having a blending plant in Malta. In the interest of our viewers, can you explain to us what a blending plant is, first of all, before we go into the details of that?
Well, a blending plant is a blending plant. Like you take the crude oil, isn't it? And then you process it into the various products that you want. There are so many products that come out of crude oil. When it goes through the normal refining process, you have diesel, you have the one we're talking about now, PMS, you have the chemicals, you have the fertilizer, you have everything, So the issue is that people saying that, or Dangote saying that some NMPC officials have a blending plant. I mean, this is not something that is new. We have known this for a long time, that you have people from this country that have investments in refineries outside this country.
Working for NNPC.
Working for, of course. I mean, if you are not in that business, how do you go and invest in refinery? You must have some knowledge of what is happening before you invest in it.
But Mele Kyari has denied he doesn't have one. He says he doesn't know any of his colleagues at NNPCL that own any.
I don't know too. I don't know anything.
But you said it's open knowledge.
It's open knowledge. It is. It is. They know it. It is. You know, most of the refineries you have, even in some of these neighboring countries that you have close to Nigeria, they are owned by Nigerians.
So what does
that say?
Okay.
There's something wrong in you investing, money, in going venture. But there's everything wrong if you are doing it at the peril of the interest of your country.
So what should be done about that? Because if that has implications for our own refining capacity locally, what do you expect the government to do with this information? That is,
unfortunately,
that means an investigation has to.
But then, unfortunately, you don't have. I don't know. Maybe under this government, perhaps our security agencies and investigating organizations, perhaps will now wake up and then to their responsibilities. But maybe you have forgotten. When the news came out that we had, some billions of dollars worth of crude oil in facilities in China, in other countries, what happened? Investigators were sent from this country, to go and investigate, and they confirm we have. And then a few months later, somebody even hired some lawyers on the televisions to say that it's a lie, that the whistleblower is not true. 2 officials of Chinese government were shot, in China because they collaborated with our Nigerian nationals to sell our crude oil, which was stolen and sent to their facilities. But in Nigeria, we are denying.
So what does this say about our country?
Your guess is as good as mine. What it says about the country is that we need to be serious. That's what it means. And we're looking up to our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to fulfill his promise.
Do you believe the president will be able to move swiftly on this?
Certainly, he can. That's why he's the president. He swore by Quran that he's going to protect, the constitution of this country and our interest. So he's not supposed to fear or give or make any favor, to anybody. Because if he does that, it's between he and his creator. So he will know. And I know that Tinubu can do it. That much I know.
So
because he's a student of history. He's in love with history. He knows that his legacy is going to leave behind. He's the one that, long after he's gone, Nigeria will remember him as one president that really served this country honestly, with all his what he has.
All this is playing out in full glare of the public, both locally and internationally. What do you think are the implications for the Nigerian oil and gas industry?
It's not only oil and gas industry. I pity the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know why I pitied him? He's been junketing all over the world, trying to market this country that, come, please, Nigeria must be the destination. We are ready to give you everything you want. But look at what is playing out. So this does not affect only oil and gas industry. It's all the entire country that is going to, our economy that is going to affect. And before any serious investor comes to a client, he looks at 3 things. 1, what is your industrial policy? How strong is your judiciary? And how quickly can he take his money out, if he makes profit? When they look at what is happening to Dangote, you think any serious man will come into this country, serious investor will come to Nigeria. So I pity, President Tinubu, what the regulatory agents demand, what's the name again, Farouk, what he did. Is to make nonsense of all the efforts that President Tinubu has been putting, running all over the place. But
should they come to be bigger than the country, though? Even if he has, substantial investment, should it be bigger than the country?
Who?
I mean, should one company be bigger than a country? At the end of the day, the country still has to regulate the market.
Why did they decide to take 20% equity?
Oh, it's been reduced. Actually. So they weren't able to pay for the 20%.
No, but then what you should know is that today, the total revenue, of this government is about how much? $10 billion, maybe. 10 billion. And then Dangote is already making about 30 billion by the end of this year. 3 times our revenue. And even that 10 billion, you know that I think about 80% of it is going to debt servicing. So this is a country that should have, really do everything. We should do everything to encourage more of Dangotes in other sectors of the economy, like the steel industry and other industries that, that is the backbone of industrialization of every country that you see today that you think they are developed.
That's a good point. Nigeria needs more Dangotes,
yes,
not just one.
Yes.
In every sector of the economy.
Yes.
And how do you think that the president can bring that about?
The president, fortunately for us, Tinubu is a businessman. He knows what it means for government to support a private initiative.
Is he a businessman, though?
Who?
He's more of a politician.
No. He has investments. He has investments, which we know, and he knows. He knows we know. They are working. They are not investments that are not in the interest of the country. In any case, So I believe that he should apply because he knows. It's not somebody that's not aware of what government interest is about. And there's nothing wrong, believe you me. Look at what is happening in countries like America. How did America become what it is today? It's like Rockefellers and what have you and all these things of the world that made America to be what it is today. Henry Ford, all these things, all these giants, we're talking about the same thing, isn't it? So these people made America what it is. And even if you want to say you break the monopoly, this is not the way to do it.
Right. So finally, what kind of changes might be needed in the regulatory environment to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't continue to happen?
Oh, discipline. Make sure that your civil servants do not steal money and get away with it because they are becoming arrogant. That's what happened at the villa was exhibition of arrogance because they've been getting away with a lot of things, stealing our crude oil, stealing, from both sides. They will export crude oil, import, refined products and commission, and they will take 450,000 barrels that are supposed to be refined locally. They destroy the refineries. Nobody says anything, So this what you need to do is to be disciplined. So
Nigerians will be waiting for the president to show that there are consequences for such actions.
Exactly.
Okay. Mr. Yebaji Sani, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.